I think I'm doing better now, you know? I think at the time when I found out, you know, at the same time as the rest of the world, that my marriage was ending in divorce, I was gutted.
Y'all, the streets are saying Jeezy might be trading in his chains for handcuffs if he doesn't get his act together. And not the decorative kind either. We're talking about those cold steel ones they slap on you before they take you downtown. Because let me tell you something, when a judge starts threatening jail time in a divorce case, baby, that's when you know somebody's been playing games. And right now, it looks like Young Jeezy's about to learn that court orders ain't just suggestions you can ignore your ex's text messages.
So all my first music was basically me saying, even if I went to prison, I'm gonna leave something out here so people can at least hear, you know, how I see it.
I mean, imagine going from rapping about trap houses to potentially living in the big house because you couldn't handle some paperwork. The irony is thick enough to cut with a butter knife. See, what started as another celebrity divorce is turning into something that sounds like it came straight out of a Tyler Perry movie. Got court orders being ignored, police getting called, and a judge who's fed up with the shenanigans.
You have to build some type of credibility. So when I took the Snowman and made it a brand, when I showed people I understood marketing by giving out all those Trapodie CDs to get a buzz, when I went to Def Jam and negotiated my deal.
And caught in the middle, a 3-year-old little girl who probably just wants her parents to act like adults for 5 minutes. Let me paint you the picture of what's really going down. This whole mess started back in 2023 when Jeezy and Jeannie decided to call it quits. Now, we've all seen celebrity divorces before. They announce the split, divide the assets, share some PR statement about remaining friends, and move on.
And music was just, you know, I learned from music, I understood music, I love it to this day, but I also understand that that's just a small fraction of who and what I am. And business was the thing for me because you don't just walk off the street and just go straight into business.
But this divorce, chilly. This divorce said, hold my champagne, and decided to get messy. Fast forward to now, and we're watching what happens when keeping it real goes wrong. The latest drama centers around a 2021 Range Rover. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole luxury SUV is causing all this chaos. The court ordered Jeezy to transfer the title to Jeannie. Simple enough, right? Sign some papers, hand over the keys, everybody moves on with their lives.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's set up that way. But what I will give them they flowers on is the fact that they're better businessmen, if you ask me.
But apparently, Jeezy decided to treat that court order was optional. Like it was one of those gested donation signs at museums that nobody actually follows. Except this ain't the Met Gala, and that judge ain't playing. According to court documents, Jeezy willfully failed to transfer the title. Willfully. That means he didn't forget. He didn't lose the paperwork. He straight up chose not to do what the court told him to do.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I didn't have a choice. Like for me, it was just like do or die. I knew music was the only thing that I could do and still be myself and maybe get myself out of the predicament I was in because it was just like that to go to the penitentiary.
And now the judge is saying if he violates the order again, he's going to jail. Let that sink in for a minute. This man could end up behind bars over a Range Rover. Not for the music, not for the streets, but because he couldn't or wouldn't sign over a car title to his ex-wife. But wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on how you look at it. Remember back in December 2024, when Jeannie got permission from the court to go to Jeezy's house?
I was going through things, and marriage ended in divorce, and it was kind of hard. So yeah, it's what I'm dealing with day by day, you know?
And collect her belongings. Wasn't trying to start drama. She had official court permission. She probably just wanted to grab her stuff and go. Maybe some clothes, some personal items, things that belong to her. But when she showed up, Jeezy's manager turned her away, wouldn't let her in. So what did Jeannie have to do? Call the police.
I think it's more so that it's just so saturated.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just so much. You know, it's so much music coming out. It's hard for somebody just to stand out for a long period of time.
The actual police had to get involved because a grown man couldn't let his ex-wife collect her own belongings from his house. I mean, the pettiness, the absolute childishness of it all. This is the same man who has lyrics about maturity and growth. But he's out here acting like a teenager who won't let his ex get her hoodie back after a breakup. And then there's the money situation.
Being a mom to the best blessing in my life, my little girl.
Accentuating the positive
Absolutely.
and the beauty in
I
life.
think even though this year I met the most broken version of me, I also met the strongest version of me.
I love how
today.
you said that.
Because of course there's a money situation. According to Jeannie, Jeezy's been slipping on his financial responsibilities too. She's claiming he hasn't paid $4,000 in childcare expenses. Now, I know $4,000 might sound like pocket change to someone with Jeezy's bank account, but that's not the point. When you have a child, you have responsibilities, period. But that's just the beginning. Jeannie also says Jeezy failed to deposit $500,000 into a trust fund for their daughter Coco. $500,000 that was supposed to be set aside for their little girl's future. And on top of that, she claims he owes her $92,400 in rent reimbursements. Now, Jeezy's not taking these accusations lying down. He's firing back, saying the trust is set up. Though interestingly, he's not providing proof. He says he's willing to pay for childcare but hasn't seen any valid receipts. And about that rent money, he's suggesting the request might be fraudulent. As for the Range Rover situation, he's blaming it on DMV delays. The DMV, y'all. As if the judge hasn't heard that excuse before. As if we all haven't used DMV delays as an excuse at some point in our lives. But when you're facing jail time, maybe, just maybe, you find a way to expedite that paperwork. What makes this whole situation even more tragic is that there's a child involved. Little Coco is only 3 years old. 3. She's at that age where she's just starting to form memories, starting to understand the world around her. And what she's seeing? Her parents locked in this bitter battle, unable to even handle basic adult responsibilities without involving courts and police. Think about it. Jeezy and Jeannie have at least 15 more years of co-parenting ahead of them. 15 years of school events, birthdays, holidays, graduations. 15 years where they'll need to communicate, cooperate, and put their daughter first. And if this is how they're starting out, Lord have mercy. The saddest part is that this could all be so simple. Transfer the car title, pay the child care expenses, set up the trust fund properly. Let your ex-wife collect her belongings without calling the cops. Basic adult behavior that millions of divorced parents manage to handle every single day without judges threatening jail time. But instead, we're watching what happens when ego gets in the way of common sense. When being petty becomes more important than being a parent. When winning the divorce becomes more important than protecting your child from the fallout. And let's be real. This isn't just about a Range Rover or some missed payments. This is about power, control, making the other person's life difficult because you can. It's about using the legal system as a weapon instead of a tool for resolution. The online community is split, as always. Some folks are saying Jeezy's just being strategic. dragging things out, making Jeannie work for every penny, every possession. They think he's playing chess while she's playing checkers. Others see Jeannie as the one stirring the pot, using the media to paint Jeezy as a deadbeat dad when maybe he's just trying to make sure everything's done right. They point out that receipts matter, that proper documentation is important, that maybe she's being unreasonable. But here's what I think. When a judge, someone who's seen countless divorce cases, who's heard every excuse in the book, when that person starts threatening jail time, that tells you everything you need to know about who's being unreasonable. Judges don't throw around jail threats lightly. They don't wake up in the morning eager to send people to prison over civil matters. When a judge gets to that point, it means they've lost patience. It means they've seen a pattern of behavior that goes beyond normal divorce drama. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. This isn't just about two people who can't get along after a breakup. This is about someone repeatedly ignoring court orders, someone who thinks the rules don't apply to them, someone who's testing the limits of the legal system's patience. The irony is that Jeezy built his career on authenticity, on keeping it real, on being a man of his word. His music talks about honor, about handling your business, about taking care of your responsibilities. But right now, the disconnect between his lyrics and his actions is wider than the Grand Canyon. Meanwhile, Jeannie, who many people first dismissed as just another reality TV personality when she married Jeezy, is showing she's not here to play games. She's following proper legal channels, documenting everything, making sure she has receipts. She's doing exactly what you're supposed to do when someone isn't honoring their agreements. But beyond all the legal drama, beyond the money and the cars and the court orders, there's a deeper story here. It's a story about what happens when love turns to resentment. When two people who once promised forever can't even handle basic transactions without police involvement. It's about the collateral damage of adult conflicts. A little girl who didn't ask for any of this, who just wants her mommy and daddy to stop fighting. A child who will grow up reading about her parents' divorce in tabloids, who'll see the court documents online someday, who'll have to reconcile the public drama with her private reality. And it's about accountability. Because at the end of the day, court orders aren't suggestions. Child support isn't optional. Co-parenting isn't a game you can win or lose. It's a responsibility you either handle or you don't. Right now, it looks like Jeezy's choosing not to handle it. And that choice might land him in a place where he won't have any choices at all, behind bars. The question is, will he wake up before it's too late? Will he realize that no amount of pride or pettiness is worth missing out on his daughter's childhood? Will he understand that some battles aren't worth fighting, especially when the casualty is your own child's peace of mind? Or will he keep pushing until that judge makes good on the threat? Until he finds himself trading his designer clothes for an orange jumpsuit, all because he or wouldn't do the right thing? Time will tell, but one thing's for certain. This story isn't over, not by a long shot. And if Jeezy doesn't change course soon, the next chapter might be written from a jail cell. What do you think? Is this just another case of divorce, bringing out the worst in people? Or is there something deeper going on here? Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a man who's about to learn a very expensive lesson about respecting the legal system. And just maybe a lesson about what really matters in life. Because at the end of the day, no Range Rover is worth your freedom. No amount of money is worth your relationship with your child, and no divorce victory is worth losing your dignity. But hey, that's just my take. What's yours?